Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Reform UK candidate for Mayor of London, Laila Cunningham.
Hello, Romford. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with Andrew. I had met Andrew a few years ago because I wanted to actually write a book on how, I guess you'd call it, the rights could win London. How people that believe in patriotism, believe in sovereignty, believe in law and order, how could they win London again? And I said, I'm going to contact the one MP in the city that actually believes in that. The one MP that really works for his local community. And I met Andrew, and I met him in a bar, and we had a lovely meeting. And honestly, I was taken away by how much he values civic pride, how much he values local pride, and how much he was defending his patch. And so it's an honor to welcome him to Reform. And it's an honor to welcome all of you here if you weren't Reformed before. The thing is, tonight isn't just another rally. It's about the future of London, our greater London, because for too long, this city has stopped working for the actual people who built it. I want to be really clear about what's happening. You see, London no longer works for Londoners. It doesn't work for Romford, and it doesn't work for Hackney. It's governed by ideology. While families are struggling with the cost of living, while housing costs spiral, while our veterans sleep rough, while young people are leaving, we have councils debating biodiversity targets, diversity metrics, and symbolic gestures. They forgot that government must serve and not lecture. It must ask what works on the ground, what works for Romford. It's not what ticks a civil service box. And that is why Reform is here. We are not here to serve the status quo, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to serve you. Around 1,000 veterans in our city are homeless in London right now. 1,000. That's not just a failure. It's a disgrace. These are the people who serve this country with their lives. And if we cannot give them a roof over their heads, then what are we doing? That's not the London I believe in. It's not the country I believe in. And it's not the London you believe in either. And let's look at the scale of what's happening, shall we? London houses more asylum seekers in hotel than anywhere else in the country. And this didn't happen by accident, by the way. There are 15 London boroughs that have declared themselves sanctuary boroughs for refugees. Yep, 15. London, as a result, has become a de facto sanctuary city. And you know what message that sends? It sends a message that Londoners are no longer a priority in their own city. And the politicians, they're proud of it. They call it inclusion. But declaring sanctuary while your own people are pushed out, it's not inclusion. It's exclusion. It's displacement. It excludes the families who built the city, the workers who make it function, the taxpayers who paid into it. And worst of all, it excludes the veterans who defended it. You cannot run the most expensive housing market in the country as if capacity doesn't matter. You cannot house people with no connection to London while our own children are forced to leave. You cannot put newcomers ahead of veterans who served this nation. That breaks the deal, the basic contract between government and people. And people know it, and you know it. Listen, London's always been diverse. Right? People from all over the world have come here, contributed, become Londoners. But here's what used to make it work. One civic culture, a British culture. That was the glue. My parents came here in the 60s, and they came with the sole aim to assimilate and integrate. They came because they wanted Britain. They didn't come because they wanted a village from where they're from. They came because of what Britain represents, the beauty of Britain. And that's the message. That's the message, if I win mayor, that I will send. You come from anywhere. You come to London and you become part of something. You integrate, you adopt British values, British laws, British identity, and that's what creates unity. But now we're told every culture must be celebrated equally. I mean, that might sound nice, but it doesn't work. When every culture is celebrated against one another, you don't get unity, you get confusion, you get division, you get conflict. You cannot have a functioning society when there's no shared culture holding it together. So we must have one civic British culture. And that doesn't mean erasing where people have come from. It means saying if you want to be part of London, this is what we stand for, and we are proud to stand for it. We are proud. And that shouldn't be controversial. But sadly, right now, I think it's called far right. I know. And let me tell you what Labour and the left have done. And they've done it quite well. They've put us all in boxes, different demographic boxes. You know, I'm called, oh my God, the Muslim candidate. Different identity boxes with different needs, different priorities. And then what they've done is they've played those priorities off against each other. Divide and conquer. That's their strategy. Keep everyone fighting, keep everyone resentful, keep everyone separate. Because if we're all divided, we can't unite against them. But I see people from all walks of life in reform, from all different backgrounds. And that's how I see London. I don't see demographics. I don't see boxes. I don't see competing groups. I see Londoners and British people, all of us together, different backgrounds, yes, different stories, yes, but one city, one identity, one future. A united London isn't A united London isn't about pretending we're all the same. It's about saying we're all in this together. It's about shared responsibility, shared pride in this place. A united London where British culture is the foundation and everyone who contributes is welcome to build on that. That's the London I'm fighting for. Not separate communities living in parallel lives. One London united. And to that aim, our first policy for London ahead of May 7th is that London will be a sanctuary for veterans and for Londoners. Because thanks to Labour and Conservatives, they have embedded legislation from the Equalities Act that says that you cannot discriminate on the basis of nationality. And they count British people in that. And I say to you, if you can't be discriminated in your own bloody country, where the hell are you going to be prioritised? Sorry, if you can't be prioritised in your own country, then where will you be prioritised? They have also said that those most in need, this is legislation, go to the top of the list. And successive councils in London have deemed that refugees are most in need. Put that into perspective. What happens is that when you arrive on a boat illegally, you claim asylum. You're an asylum seeker. When that claim is granted, you become a refugee and you go to the top of the social housing list, while our veterans sleep rough. They don't prioritise people with connection to this city. No, it's people with no connection at the expense of our own. Let me be specific about what that means for May 7th. Every reform council we win in May will introduce tough residency rules for social housing. Real connection, real ties to community, because without that, you do see the massive demographic change that you've seen. You do see a loss of what you believe your community should look like. You want a social home in a borough? You've lived there, worked there, built your life there, contributed. And veterans, you see, the law already says they should get priority, but only reform councils will enforce it. Because these are people who serve this country with their lives. And if we can't look after them, then I don't know what it says about us. And look, it's not just about stopping what's wrong, because I can go on and on about Sadiq Khan. I can go on and on about crime. We all know the state of affairs. It's about building something better. See, I'm fighting for a London that works, a London that thrives, a London that puts you, me, its own people first. I'm fighting for a London where our children actually want to stay. When they finish university or when they want to work, they say, London is where I'm building my future because it has the best jobs, the best businesses, the best opportunities anywhere in the world. And most of all, they can afford to live here, buy a home here, start a family, stay near their parents, raise their children here. That should not be a luxury, but for so many it is. That should not be normal. What kind of city educates its young people, then forces them out? What kind of city makes its own children leave because they can't afford to stay? A failing one. And London's better than that. And I'll be honest with you, it's kind of personal. I want my own children to stay with me. I want them to live right next to me. Not because, they have to, but because they want to. I want them to live here, build here, have a home here, raise their kids here. London gave me an incredible start, an incredible life, and it should do the same for them. This city made me. I'm sure it made loads of you. And it should give the next generation the same chance that we had. And I believe that's something worth fighting for. A city that works. A city where hard work is rewarded, where contribution matters, where the people who serve this country, our veterans, are looked after properly, where local connection means something, where communities comes first, where your children can afford to stay, and a London that's united under one civic British culture. Not played off against each other. And I keep saying the word united because I do feel that it's not quite like that anymore. Do you? Do you feel we're united as a country? No. And I feel that that's what reform stands for. For pride in this place, pride in our country, pride in putting British people first. And the only way to do that is to have a leader like Nigel, a leader who believes in sovereignty, who believes in a government that serves its own people, not the establishment, not global partnerships, not the bureaucrats, but his own people. And that's what reform is about. And when we win in London, and when we win in Romford, Greater London, I know you all want to be part of Essex, but I might keep you for a bit, and I'll make you want to be part of London once we win it. We'll say this without apology. Londoners first, veterans first, British people first, united under one civic British culture, because this is our city, this is our home, and ladies and gentlemen, it is our future, and it's time we took it back. It's time for unity. And I keep saying this because it's important. It's time for change. It's time for reform because we refuse to be a city that leaves its heroes homeless. We refuse to be a city that prices out our children. And we refuse to be governed by spreadsheets and slogans. We choose to be a city worth fighting for. A city where veterans have roofs, graduates have futures, family have safety, and local pride is not sneered at or called far right, but celebrated. So ladies and gentlemen, this is our city. This is our home. It doesn't belong to Labour. It doesn't belong to Conservatives. And on May 7th, with your vote, we will win it back. It's time for reform in London. Thank you.